Welcome to Beyond the Graves and Stars, the horror and sci-fi movie podcast. My name is Andy. Each episode I look at a usually underrated, sometimes we go for the classics, but an older horror or sci-fi movie. At the moment, I'm currently going through the Tommy J horror franchise, as well as looking at Stephen King adaptations. As well as that, I'm doing episodes where my guest picks a film that we watch and then talk about. This episode, Sam Williamson is back. This is a film he's been on about for ages. So are some other people I know. It went kind of under the radar when it was released 20 years ago. I'd never seen it until just before recording this episode. And as you can probably tell by the excitement in my voice, I did enjoy it. I recommend everybody go out and watch it before listening. It doesn't really matter. We're not overly spoiling, but we are talking about Behind the Mask, the Rise of Leslie Vernon. And it's not a film that is talked about that much, especially outside horror circles. I am not talking very well at the moment because I've had 4 cups of coffee. But if you're going to do an intro, you might as well be excited, mightn't you? And so we sat down and watched this. It's quite difficult to get hold of unless you pay for it on streaming, which we did do. Just want to say, if this is your first time listening, thank you for finding us and listening. There's loads of other episodes up there where you found this, done various seasons, like on Nightmare on Elm Street and loads really, but Nightmare on Elm Street's the biggest one. Phantasm, we've done all of those. Trance's done those. And lots more to come. Find us on the socials and please like, share, all that sort of thing. And if you're back, thank you for coming back. This is the trailer, and then we'll be back to talk about Behind the Mask, the Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Murdered Silas, buried his body in the field, and dragged Molly from the house, hanging her in the farm's apple orchard.
You have no idea how much cardio I have to do. It's ridiculous. There's that whole thing of making it look like you're walking. Everybody else is running their asses off.
Everybody thinks we just wake up one morning and start obsessing about a girl and start stalking her, killing everybody that gets in the way.
That does seem to happen a lot with you guys.
That boy, he's going to be the best yet.
There are 11 exits from the first floor. Another 8 or 9 that might be manageable from the second floor. All the obvious weapons I sabotaged.
Why are you doing
We're not
that?
going to have this conversation.
Why? What, you
Get in the van.
You have no idea who you're dealing with.
So how will this play out? How will this work?
You won't like what you see. I promise you that.
I'm so happy.
Make sure you're getting this.
Oh, it's dark enough.
What we got filming those cameras, boys?
You cannot stand here and let this happen.
Don't you get it? We're in this now. We're part of his equation. Get out of here!
We're right where he wants us. All of us. You have to tell me. What happens to me?
Thank you, Sam, for picking this movie, Behind the Mask, the Rise of Leslie Vernon. And I can't believe it's 20 years old and I've never seen it. You've been talking to me about it for several years now, and until now, I had never seen it. But it is quite difficult to get hold of.
It's very, very hard to get hold of. I found it by fluke on, I think it was either Instagram or it was on TikTok. Someone was just talking about random obscure films, and this one just popped up. As in, it's not your typical kind of movie, really, is it? It's kind of a movie of two halves.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you first came about it, but that was through people talking about it, yeah?
Yeah.
And did you first see it? Because we watched it, you purchased it on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Is that how you first saw it?
Yeah, that's how I first saw it. I found it on Prime. It was, when I very first found it, it was free on Prime. And then it kind of got a bit of traction from these posts on, I think it was TikTok, on these horror accounts of these unsung gems of horror films. And then they put it for, I think it was about a tenner I bought it for on there. Well, I think it's well worth the money with the amount of rewatches I've gone through from it.
Yeah, well, it's one that, when you mentioned it, I looked it up and I did recognise the DVD cover.
Yes.
So it has had a DVD release, but when I tried to pick up a copy, they're not going that cheap now. So the best option would be to buy a digital copy from, not just them, several places you can get a digital copy. It's just difficult to get a physical copy. But saying that, let's talk about the actual film. As you say, a film of two halves. The first half is, well, it's more the first sort of two-thirds, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a documentary. I'll let you explain.
Yeah.
I'll let you. Yeah.
So it's set. The whole film is set in a world where A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, all of these classic slasher films are basically historical events, and it follows Leslie Vernon, who's concocted this story where he wants to become the next big slasher icon. And the first, like you say, 2/3 of the film is a documentary film crew following him around, and it's showing him basically how they do the tricks of the trade. And then from then on, you find out what his motivations are, what he wants to do, how he gets what he calls his Ahab, being the big, like, Dr. Loomis of the... They played it excellently by Robert Englund.
Yeah, basically his nemesis.
Yeah, basically his nemesis. And then the last third of the film, it switches from the documentary cameras to a basic slasher film.
Yeah.
As he enacts his plan.
All of which is done with a fair bit of humour. The documentary stuff reminded me very much of Christopher Guest type stuff. Even going back to when Rob Reiner worked with Christopher Guest in Spinal Tap. And the humour's there.
Yes. But
it's not build-up joke. It's just reference humour, and people's reactions and stuff made me laugh. And deliberately as well.
Yeah.
And this last week I've spent rewatching scary movie films, and it's quite nice to see some subtle horror humour, not just in your face, cleverer, basically. But it's got that nice balance of comedy and horror. I like that. And also, I'd say if you're not a horror fan, you probably wouldn't find it funny because you wouldn't get the references.
You need to have kind of seen the films that these people were in beforehand to get the references. But they're the kind of films that are so common knowledge, like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist.
Yeah. And they refer to people like Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger as Mike and Fred. There's a brief mention of Chucky as well, I noticed. Yeah. And a good cast as well. I mean, it's a really low budget independent movie directed by Scott Glosserman, who hasn't really done much else apart from documentaries. And I imagine it's a passion project.
It must be a passion project.
Yeah, and the fact that he's got these people involved, we mentioned Robert Englund. The others are smaller cameos, so don't really want to give away too much who's in it. But there's a couple of horror icons who pop up quite briefly.
Yeah, the one that really popped me was the Kane Hodder one.
Yeah.
But again, that's only because I'm a big fan of his work, and I know the reference, what they were doing with the scene he was in.
Yeah, and with Kane Hodder as well, I mean, he's known for cameos, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that was he used to, before he became that well known, they'd put him in films and people wouldn't recognise him. So you go back to older films he's doing stunt work in, he's got other roles as well.
Yeah.
But this is a obvious, quite early on, it's him. And
it's him. That's him. I see what they did there. That's why they got him in that location.
Yeah. But the main cast, you've got Leslie Vernon himself, played by Nathan Bezel, who I don't he looked familiar. I can't say I've seen him in anything else, but I think he done really well.
Yeah.
When it's the documentary stuff and they're talking to him, he reminded me of kind of a mixture between and what's his name, Ethan Hawke, and a bit for the lighter stuff, bit Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he's got that comedic timing of
and sort of silliness and laughing a lot. And in a way, his look reminded me of the singer from Sugar Ray as well. But that might be the era because it was made in 2006. And the main reporter, Taylor Gentry, the actress who played her, do you know what big film she was in before this?
No.
Quite a few years before this, she was the sister to Macaulay Culkin. I'm guessing the younger sister to Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone.
Oh, she?
Yeah. So, she'd have been 13. So, no, she'd probably been an older sister. Yeah, she's also in Jerry Maguire, Spanglish, the Adam Sandler movie. So, imagine she was a child actress who now is older. And in this, and Scott Wilson playing Eugene, he's a very familiar face. We were talking about this before we recorded. He's in so much stuff.
Man, Exorcist 3, The Walking Dead,
G.I. Jane, and
classics.
I think I recognised him from The Animal with the formerly funny Rob Schneider. He was also in Young Guns 2, which is a film I loved growing up. Loads of stuff. Good actor, one of those familiar faces. Good character actor. Unfortunately, passed away about 8 years ago. But this is thing to me, I was shocked that it's actually 20 years old.
Yeah.
I thought it was about 10 years old.
Yeah, it holds up really well.
Yeah.
It holds up really, really well.
That's
good, just good to see.
I didn't even think about things like they're not using mobile phones and that sort of thing.
I suppose they didn't. Well, there was one scene where they said we've got no signal. Yeah,
but it wasn't as it would be nowadays. But I suppose that works because the movies in that world, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th sort of died off sort of 10 years before this, really.
Yeah, it was kind of the age of Scream and the meta films kind of took over from the classic slasher films.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons this went a bit under the radar, probably because even by 2006, the Scream and that sort of thing had died down a bit and you were getting more of the... what's the guy who done like Sixth Sense and that sort of stuff had taken over a bit?
Night Shyamalan.
That's the one. So maybe it was a little bit too late. And also, I suppose a lot of these horror films were video rentals.
Yeah.
And that had gone down then as well. You weren't really renting videos and DVDs at that point, and streaming hadn't quite taken off.
Yeah.
So people love this film. If you look at the reviews, it's a fan favourite. But I just think people didn't get the access to it. It's not mainstream enough to be a big cinema hit. But looking on Letterboxd, it's got 3.4 out of 5, which is good for Letterboxd, isn't it?
Yeah,
for horror.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, 76%, which is very good. Slightly lower, 6.7 on IMDb. But for a low-budget horror, that's really good.
Yeah.
And the film looked great, and I think it helped it being done the documentary style, because that way it can get away with being lower budget.
Yeah.
And the finale, which is done like a proper film, they clearly put the budget and the effort into that smaller section.
Yeah.
And I think that bit looked great.
And that works really well.
Yeah.
You can tell the budget mainly went on the last third of the film and some of the cameos, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect some of the cameos would have been done as favours.
Potentially.
Yeah, or through... I mean, I don't know. I mean, because this is one of the films that Sam picked for me, I'm just diving in. I didn't do any research, really. Wouldn't surprise me if he just sent the script out to people and it was that good, because it is.
Yeah.
That they'd either done it for cheap or fitted it in.
It's not a kind of film I've seen before.
No.
Which is the main appeal of it.
Yeah, I mean, slashers have been spoofed to death.
Yeah.
But this is done differently.
Yeah, and that's also why the director said the sequel hasn't come out straight away, which we'll get into the sequel in a little while.
Yeah.
But he said by the time they've redone the script and stuff, horror had moved away from the slasher film to the more torture porn kind of thing, which didn't fit well with the character, which until now is why they haven't kind of revisited.
Yeah, but I think the horror in general is bigger now than 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
With horror cons picking up, getting bigger, and like Scream is back. I Know What You Did Last Summer's back, and I think this is the time to do it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
hopefully the cast who are still alive are still able to do it. I mean, you've actually spoken to him about it, Robert England.
Yeah, he was really, really enthusiastic about it. He originally told me that instead of a sequel, there was going to be a documentary based around the film about the not making of the second one, which was going to happen during COVID. But then the year after we had that conversation about it, he mentioned on stage that they finally have gone into production with this new Leslie Vernon one, and there's a Kickstarter for it, and they've raised quite a bit of money for it, so it's gonna.
Yeah, if you look on Letterboxd, it's up, it's there. I know some films, I mean, I can think of, for example, the Kevin Smith film Moose Jaws had been up for ages and that's now been taken down. But with this, momentum's building, and I think they've got the budget now.
I think they reached their target goal that they originally put off on the GoFundMe within the first day.
Yeah.
And then it's just grown and grown, and they've put on there, the more that you support this film, the bigger the budget we get, the more cameos we can get, the more different things we can do with it. Yeah. And it's just been going from strength to strength on it from what it looks like online. Yeah,
I mean, it's possibly because I've just come off the back of the scary movie binge, but the cameos aren't in your face. The humour isn't in your face. It's a well done, subtle film.
Yeah.
When it does get to the deaths and that sort of thing, it's done well. It's not overly gory. There's not much swearing in it or anything, but it's dark with the undertone of you always feel a bit safe because it's funny.
Yeah.
But also when you're introduced to Leslie, he goes from being you think, oh, he's a normal guy with this, and it builds and builds and builds, and you start to see a darker side of him. A very darker side of it, which is really well done.
He kind of starts off as a bit of like a goofy kind of guy, doesn't he? With like how then you more and more you find out, the more how scary the man actually becomes, and that actually is.
Yeah, and it's a while before you actually see the character of Leslie as well. You see him without his mask on. It's called Behind the Mask, obviously, because it's about the documentary behind it. What do you think of the look of him?
I think it was quite difficult to imagine and to design a new slasher when you got the iconic, like the hockey mask for Jason, the what's his name, Michael Myers mask.
Yeah,
I can't remember, the name's completely gone out of my head.
William Shatner.
Yep, the William Shatner mask for Michael Myers, the glove and the hat for Freddy. So, but I think they've done a really good job, kind of making a makeshift something new from, but still recognisable as this could be a brand.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with it because it isn't spoofing or overly referencing any other character. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
It's like this. I mean, people will have looked it up, but I'll put a picture up and stuff. This grey mask, that it doesn't look like Freddy. It doesn't look like Jason. It doesn't look like anybody. But it's his own thing, and it's instantly that's a slasher.
Yeah.
And I think that's really well done.
I think they called him a scarecrow at one point.
They do. Yeah, it's got that kind of feel, and also because he's not a big chap. The fact that it looks menacing, like with Freddy's face and claw, I think it really works.
Again, they go into. That's what I love about this film is that they go into explain why he's so lean and he's in the shape that he is. He's not a hulking mass like Jason.
They explain about the little references to other films and why he is like and why he has to be like that, which really works. And I like the building relationship between him and the crew as well.
Yeah.
How they all warm to him. And to be honest, not to get too... I won't mention names because of algorithms, but Louis Theroux has interviewed people and he gets to know them. But with him, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But they try to lure him and get on side. In this, the presenters and... presenter and crew aren't as clever as these people, and you can tell they're falling for it.
Yeah,
and that works. And I suppose it does that. That is supposed to be happening with the audience as well. You warm to him, and then when the film changes, you see that side of him.
Yeah, you see him just completely switch, and his plan he's been building up and tell these people to their face. It starts to become enacted, and they're like, "Oh, this is way more than we actually thought it was going to be."
Yeah. And it does as well. It includes those slasher film tropes of you've got the virgin. They call it survivor
Final Girl
instead of Survivor Girl instead of Final Girl. You've got the Stoner Friends.
You got the Jocks.
Yeah, but all done well, and it doesn't come across as too cheesy, even though it is those.
Yeah.
Which has been overdone, but it's because it's from this different aspect. I think it really works.
Yeah.
And it's to be fair, we are horror nerds, and I think most people listening to this will be as well. It's made for us, and that's why we should embrace it, and that's why we should be talking about it. And as I said, we've mentioned it. You mentioned it to Robert England. You've also mentioned it to Kane Hodder, who seemed to love it as well. Didn't
he was really keen to tell me stories from in the little interaction we had. He told me a great story from it.
And it just feels like something that the people involved with are proud of. And the fact that Robert England, for example, has been in so many horror films. I mean, he does do a lot of independent ones, but he's been in some big ones as well as Nightmare on Elm Street. But this is one of the ones he always talks about.
Yeah.
Because he's proud of it, and he sees that it's unique. And I think you can tell he's kind of disappointed that it isn't as well known.
Yeah.
But I think with the sequel, it could.
It's started to build such an underground following now. I think that it's starting to become more and more appreciated. It's got to the point where he felt the need to mention it at the last time we went to a horror con with him. So that tells you a lot of how much people are wanting this film if he's now saying it to a room full of people himself.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that to just any old kind of film.
I mean obviously he's passionate about what he does, but he's done so many films. I bet you there's quite a few he probably would rather not talk about.
Yeah.
But being him, if you asked him, I'm sure he would.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
He's an open book.
Yeah. I mean, other than Freddy, this is the film I've actually heard him probably talk about the most in the couple of Comic Cons he's been at, or horror cons that he's been at.
It usually comes down to Freddy, V, and then this, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true, V, yeah. But also, with the posters and that sort of thing, they haven't plastered all over it as Robert England. It's sold as its own thing, which I think is kind of cool, but may not have helped it. I mean, his name's up there, but his picture isn't on the poster or anything, is it?
No.
And that could be a selling point. But also, it's what it is. And
it stands on its own merits. It doesn't need... Because it's not... At the end of the day, as much as I love Robert England and I love all the films he's been in, it's not a Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, and to be fair, even though he pops up quite a few times in the film, he's probably not got more than, say, 10 minutes screen time in total. But it's spread out, so it feels like he's in more of it.
Yeah.
And but when he is there, the character's important. His performance is good. I think this is one thing that stood out for me, because I hadn't even seen the trailer for this, I don't think. I might have done a while ago when you first mentioned it to me. But the acting really stood out to me. I thought the leads were great. And that's a big thing. That's what could make or break for an independent horror sometimes, is the performances. And they were all the main two, Leslie and the presenter, were brilliant.
Yes.
And everybody else was solid, good. Nothing stood out as bad in this film.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest movie ever made, but it does exactly what it's supposed to. Never gets boring.
Yeah.
It's perfectly well. I mean, it's like 91 minutes.
Yeah, holds your attention. Yeah. You don't get bored watching it.
No, and to be fair, I've had about 2 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And I feel tired, but it kept my attention the whole time. If we'd have watched, I don't know, a Christopher Nolan film, I'd have been passed out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, which reminds me, while we're recording, are you going to the midnight showing of The Odyssey?
Probably not. No.
Nah,
as much as I like Christopher Nolan films, I think it screams at me this is going to be a long one, so I probably won't see it.
It starts at 5 past midnight. I've worked out with trailers. It'll finish at about 25 to 4.
Oh, I work.
Yeah. I mean, I start work to 11 the next day, but I'm not going.
No, I start work at 9, so probably not.
But no. But that's something that could fall into this podcast, actually, Odyssey, isn't it? Because it's kind of fantasy, which I'd class as. But we'll see. No, I won't do. I'm not going to do a Christopher Nolan season, and there's probably enough of those. But Robert England, yes.
Yeah, or we should do a Robert England season.
Yeah, I mean, I think done all the Freddy's bar the remake, done that, and now this. So maybe what I could do is when over time, just put a folder together of them and
Yeah.
stick them out as.
I mean, I saw today that they've been polling after the recent news
Yeah.
coming out yesterday of the new Nightmare on Elm Street film being developed by Paramount.
Yeah.
With a deal with the Craven estate, so we're finally getting a new one.
Yeah.
The most popular pick for people to be the new Freddy Krueger is still Robert Englund.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, do you know what was second?
Jim Carrey, I believe.
Jim Carrey. Oh god. The thing is, that's like I said, that could work, but I can't. I mean, the guy who played him in the remake, he didn't do anything wrong.
It was just a bad script.
Bad script, yeah. But it is Robert Englund.
Yeah.
I mean, I know if it had gone to another actor, we might feel the same about them. I was reading recently that Robin Williams was in the run for a bit.
Okay.
Which
been different.
Yeah, I mean, you look at something like 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like that film.
Yeah, he could have done that, but it is Robert Englund. But it's the same like with this. I mean, I'm hoping they get the same actor to play Leslie Vernon in the second one.
Well, he hasn't actually acted since 2009, I think it was.
Okay. He's not doing stage work or anything.
He might be doing stage work, but I can't find much on him.
Yeah. I mean, I had a quick look, just as it finished, and yeah, he hasn't done a lot. But for something like this, surely he'd come back.
You'd hope so.
It's like
I really hope so.
I was talking to you before that I rewatched the Clerks films.
Yes.
The guy who plays Elias in Clerks 2 done pretty much nothing for was it 20 years in between Clerks 2 and Clerks 3, and he came back. Yeah. So we'll see. It'd be a shame if it was someone different.
Yeah. Well, they do kind of have a get out clause technically with the ending of the film, which I won't spoil, but they do kind of have a technicality there. They can kind of recast if they need to be. Yeah,
and also with horror films, it's happened before, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Maniac Cop, things like that. There's different actors playing.
I hope if they do something like that, I know they won't, but if we could get a George of the Jungle kind of reference where they go like, yeah, it was too expensive to play this role. Yeah. We couldn't afford it again. So.
Yeah, well, I've never seen George of the Jungle 2. Have I missed out?
Yeah. Yeah,
is it all right?
George of the Jungle 2 is pretty good. Just for that joke alone, is right at the beginning. You're like, hey, you're not George. Yeah, they couldn't afford Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, but if you look into why he wasn't into it, it's probably quite dark.
Yeah, it's quite horrible. It's quite horrible, but
but we don't do horrible on here. It's a horror podcast. Yeah. So the fact we're doing this, it's 20 years since it came out. There's a sequel coming out. If anyone is listening, I think there should be a campaign to get it a decent physical release.
Yeah.
One of those companies, Second Sight or Arrow or
do
something.
Your thing. I need a physical copy of this with poster and.
Yeah, they must have made commentaries. They must be making.
Well, he was from what Robert was saying. There was a documentary coming out about the supposed making of the second one that got cancelled. That could easily be a special feature on a. Yeah,
they must have filmed.
4K. Yeah, they must have done already. He'd already told me it was done and coming out. So.
Yeah, so there is stuff, but they might be holding back for when the second one comes out because they haven't started filming yet. So it probably makes sense to release it closer to the time of.
Yeah.
But I think physical media is a funny thing at the moment because special editions and stuff, 4Ks, there's people wanting them, but there's been a few films I've been after lately that have been expensive, Yeah. So I say hang on to your physical media, buy what you can. It's not particularly environmentally friendly, but how many bin bags do we get for a day of crap? Yeah. So I think it's stuff like that's worth it. And,
for sure.
And since I've got a 4K player, I am skint. Sliver 4K, well worth it, by the way.
Check it out.
I haven't.
My next 4K is going to be Mortal Kombat. Just wait for payday.
Mine's still sealed. I pre-ordered it. That's something there's a lot of Mortal Kombat stuff out there. I like the new 2 as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
So any more on this? Because it's one of those that I don't want to go through the plot because. It's not like when we've done the Freddy films or where people have seen it and we're talking about our opinions on it. For this one, like you did to me, I want people to watch it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go through certain bits and certain scenes, but there are some standout moments. There's some set pieces in there, but the dialogue is good, and to me, the first half kind of feels real. Yeah,
because it's filmed kind of on a handheld kind of camera, then it's like when it goes from documentary to the slasher, you can actually see a difference in the filming.
Yeah. Would you say it's influenced a bit by Blair Witch as well?
Blair Witch, Creep,
Yeah.
things along them lines.
Creep would have been after this, wouldn't it?
Would Creep after this?
Do you know what? I've never seen Creep, but it's one of the ones coming up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about with a new, different guest. So watch this space, because there's 2 Creeps in the TV series now. Isn't
Yes.
There? Yeah. So I'm interested. That's a slasher. That's all I know is a slasher, and it's turned into a franchise.
Yeah, found footage slasher.
It's found footage. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, because found footage for me is a genre that very hit and miss.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest found footage fan, but some of them I can get behind. The VHS series I'm quite enjoying at the moment, and I'm looking forward to the new edition with the SCP Foundation crossover.
Okay, yeah.
That's a thing I've seen quite a few times with like different monsters and stuff and different like anomalies they call them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be quite interesting to have a look at those files through the found footage.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just try to. I love Blair Witch. It's not really found footage, but I still love Ghostwatch because I remember it happening. I thought it was really well done. First Paranormal Activity was clever, but I think some filmmakers have just seen it as an easy, cheap way to make horrors, but it's got to be done well. And this is done well. And if you're not a fan of found footage, it's not your straight found footage film. Yeah. So don't be put off by that. It's more. I suppose it's more documentary than found footage anyway. Yeah. And then it switches. There was one, what I watched recently? Lake Mungo. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. And that's more of a documentary. Yeah. And there's some really creepy bits in that. But I think with found footage, the secret is if it doesn't feel real, it's naff. Yeah. So, Blair Witch, I know now everyone knows it isn't, but there was that whole thing of
Is it real?
Yeah. Faces of Death is like that.
Yeah, it's also got the aspect of the new kind of documentary horror that's come along the last couple of years, like the Poughkeepsie tapes, and I think it was last year or the year before, Strange Harvest. It might have even been this year. But
was it Selby Oaks as well?
Shelby,
I know you weren't a fan of that one, but
Shelby Oaks didn't really know what it was. I don't think
they had moments, but I was like, although I will say, because a bit of a story, I got really annoyed with a certain cinema for that, because I booked a ticket for the first showing on the Friday that came out, and the Thursday night was a secret film. Yeah. And it was that. And I'm like, well, why? Normally there's a week or so difference and you get something. And so I just cancelled and I think a lot of people had already got tickets for it, because when they announced the film, the whole audience went, oh. Yeah. And that was before the reviews were out, so it wasn't because people weren't.
My favourite thing about them secret films is when the title comes on, just and then you see half a dozen people walking out.
There was one I watched, I forget what it was called. It was a drama. I've got to be careful because I don't want to. I want algorithms. I don't want people to say offensive things. But let's just say there was a lot of man-on-man action in it, and by action, you know what I mean. Yeah. And slowly people were leaving, and me and my mate it wasn't a particularly great film, but we were just I don't want to use words, but laughing at people for being homophobic. Basically, I said it.
I had a similar experience during an Elton John film. Elton Rocket Man. And then somebody just tutted at it, and I was like, "You're watching a movie about Elton John. Yeah. What you expected?"
Yeah, I mean,
we'll gloss over that aspect of his life.
That's like watching a film about Mike Tyson and be offended that someone's getting punched.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
But Rocket Man was alright.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah,
Taron Egerton, fantastic. He'd be a good Freddy Krueger.
He would. Yeah, that'd be great, because he'd have been Elton John, Eddie the Eagle, Robin Hood, and Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he's just ticking all the boxes. He's like the Thanos of the Infinity Gauntlet of pop culture.
Are you listening, Hollywood?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We've got casting choices here.
Yeah.
Richard Brake as well. I think he'd be a good one.
He's a great actor as well.
He'd be a fantastic Freddy.
You know what? I mean, one day I might tackle them. I don't know. But that latest Strangers trilogy, did you see them all?
I've got 1 and 2 on Prime.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the third one yet.
Okay, because they're building the character up in that of him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I watched the third. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I liked the third film.
Yeah.
But I first became aware of him through Rob Zombie films.
Yeah,
I think.
Me too.
And he's really good in the Monsters in a sort of silly role.
I can't wait for his. He's actually going to be in a Robert Englund film coming up. He's playing Geppetto.
Of course, he's
Pinocchio.
Yes, which we will be talking about.
We definitely will.
We're falling a bit behind with the. We're going to have to do the Popeye ones, aren't we?
Yes.
And then I get.
There's a new one of them out now as well.
Yeah, I've seen 2 of them. I'm going to have to rewatch them all.
Yeah.
But they're all the same. So
they are totally different, and they're all glorious in their own ways.
Well, what was the one of them was like an 80s slasher, and I thought it was brilliant. But I looked at the reviews, and it was like one.
Popeye Revenge, I think that one.
Yeah, there's not. There's someone what's on Prime, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few of them there, so we'll be doing that. And imagine if they'd have done the. I mentioned Robin Williams playing Freddy. Yeah. Robin Williams obviously played Popeye in 1980. If they'd have done a slasher Popeye with Robin Williams, that would have been possibly the greatest film ever made.
Just cancel the Oscars because nothing else is going to win from that.
Yeah, I mean, they should cancel the Oscars anyway. Well, we will mention it as well. I think the lead actress from Obsession should at least get nominated for
100%
for that performance.
Indie Never something.
I'm trying to save my phone battery, so I can't look it up. Yeah. But right,
fantastic
ratings for this movie from you, sir.
See, it's one of my favourites from recent years. So I'm giving it a 5-star review.
5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I can't, as I say, I thought it was really, really good. Not quite perfect, but I think it'll be one of those films that when I watch more, I'll get more from.
Yeah.
So I imagine it will go up. But yeah, well worth a watch. And this is a good one for me to start with the people picking films for me, because it's obscure, but it's got its following. I should have watched it 20 years ago, not now. I've got around to watching it, and I did enjoy it. We're going to do another film soon, a more well-known one that we've both seen before.
Yes.
But also it's one that people need to talk about. I will mention as well that there's a few of these coming up with different people. They've been on before, and I've got some new people. But if you want to come on and talk about a film, just drop me a message and do it. And if it's one you think Sam will like as well, we could all join in and get it out there. But yeah, find this film. I think it's a 15 certificate.
Yeah,
so
15.
Everybody can watch it because it's 15. That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and a good independent horror. Would you class it as a comedy as well?
It's a black comedy.
Yeah, I'd certainly count it as a comedy horror, which is
black comedy mockumentary horror.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a tribute to the genre opposed to poke and fun.
It's a love letter to it, really.
Yeah, exactly, and also the best comedy I think I'd rather laugh at something I love than laugh at something I dislike. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm trying to think of. Say I watch a spoof movie based on period dramas, and I haven't seen many period dramas, so I wouldn't appreciate it. But a spoof of horror, I would. Yeah. There we go. So thank you very much, Sam.
You're welcome.
And Sam will be back soon. I'll be back soon. Follow us on all the socials. Don't forget to check out Sam's band, who are
Hope Ahead. We have a gig coming up soon. On the 8th of August. It is going to be Rock Against Leukemia at Steamboat Tavern. All proceeds going to children with cancer charities.
Check it out. And I'll be back very, very soon.